Welcome, everybody, to the first episode of The Monthly Purpose. Here are your hosts, Scott and Hayat.
Ooh, how's everybody doing?
Hello, hello, hello! We have an audience!
Yes! Are you ready to have fun? All right.
Are you ready to have meaningful fun? Me too, me too. Well, thanks everyone so much for coming out. This is actually the first ever monthly purpose of all time. You're at the debut pilot episode. So give yourselves a round of applause for being here in the live audience. And before we get any further, we have to give thanks.
Yes.
A lot of this has been dreams coming a long way, but we want to give thanks to the state of Delaware, to the Division and Department of Health and Social Services, and DSAM, which is the Division of Substance Abuse and Mental Health here in Delaware. So let's please give a warm thank you to our sponsors for making this possible.
Woohoo! Oh, so who's in the room?
Who's in the room? You know what Who's in the Room is? We have little bits that we're going to be doing every single show. And so we're going to introduce them this time, and then as you get familiar with the show, you'll know what to do. But Who's in the Room is when we basically do shout-outs. Are there agencies, groups, people in here that want to be shouted out? You tell us who's in the room. So who we got in the room? We got Bellefonte Lions in the room. Who we got in the room? Who's in the room? What production crew is in the house?
All right, come on, shout it out.
Samantha Hollins, who I think is also known as Ghetto Songbird in the streets of Wilmington. Did I just reveal that? Oh, geez, that's not true. I'm just speculating. You look a lot like her.
Yeah.
Anybody else in the room? What's that?
Dove.
Dove! The medical company who is working on a self-releasing Narcan-type substance. Is that correct? Yes. So it's so cool because we actually have problem solvers right here in the room. Anyone else in the room want to shout out? Boys and Girls Clubs are in the house. Yes.
All right.
Anyone else before? The Mental Health Association of Delaware? All right.
That's
Look at
important.
this. So again, the cause, which is the sponsor show of this show, stands for collective action. So together in action, urging, like pushing forward, social
evolution.
Social evolution.
And the fact that everybody's here coming together from different area, but we all have the same goal.
That's exactly right, which is to evolve to a certain sense. So that's what we're going to be doing here. We are going to be helping each other evolve. And what's so nice is that when we get everybody at the table, we sort of look at it, it's like building the team, because each person here has a different thing to offer. But when we all come together, we can have fun together, we can share ideas together, we can make solutions together. And so again, I want to thank everyone for coming. But I also know we have some people watching from home.
Yes.
So I'm going to look right there into camera one, which I believe, am I on camera one, people back there? And I want to say thank you to Lyman House. I believe Lyman House Recovery is having a watching party today. Let's give them a big round of applause. I want to thank also Andrew Thurn, who is going around the state. He is from the First State Accreditation for Recovery Residences, and he is out hosting watching parties throughout the community. So if you are also watching at home, because we know this is streaming on
That's
YouTube.
Yeah, on Zoom as well.
On Zoom as well. We have, actually, the cause has almost 22,000 subscribers. So if you are watching at home right now, we have some special instructions for you. This show is to be interactive. Here we have live people in the audience who can be giving answers. But we are really encouraging an online watching community. So you can go on the YouTube and please like, comment, share. We will be coming back to our producers every once in a while to say, hey, do we have any comments we want to read and things like that. We want you to know that even from home, watching where you are streaming, if it's live, which is today, the 19th, then you can actually be a part of this show.
All right.
So, all right, moving on.
The theme of the night.
The theme of the night. So, Hayat, the way this works
Okay.
is that once a month we are going to take a theme. And this theme, oh my goodness, more and more great people are coming in. That's Bellevue Farms I just saw walked into the room.
Hooray!
So what we're going to be doing is that each month we're going to focus on one theme here at the Monthly Purpose. You can check it out on our website, which is monthlypurpose.com, to see upcoming themes. And each night we'll focus on that. And tonight we're starting just pretty much at the beginning. We are focusing on purpose. So
Perfect.
In the future, we've got shows on the body, shows on the mind, shows on finding your tribe, shows on service and things like that. But we're going to start right at the beginning because we're here about purpose. So we're going to try to set some intentions here. Each night, we're going to have what we call our tonight's goals. But really what it is, it's setting an intention. We want to set that in this room tonight and people watching home, they are going to, after tonight and during tonight, be inspired to live a purposeful life and to sort of hunt that life down.
Are you ready to be inspired? Inspire others? All right.
And you're really good at the other intention goal we have. What's that?
All right. Creating the monthly purpose community.
That's right.
We are here.
And I'm just happy to say that I sort of observed when people were starting to come. I don't know if we can send a camera out to look at the audience for a moment. Is that all right? So we're going to send an audience because what happens is if you come here live, you get to network, meet some people, and it was really awesome. I actually saw people meeting each other who hadn't met before for the first time, having some conversations. So,
Hey, audience, you're on. Give us a wave.
yes, audience!
Woohoo!
Oh, man. That's the first live studio audience of the Monthly Purpose. That's right. They are in a live studio audience. All right. Well, so the topic is purpose. Our goals are to hunt that out, that purpose, but also this is the first, if you will, meeting of a community that we can all keep coming back to use to grow, share, and have a lot of fun. So every single show, we take a topic, and then what we do is our crew goes out into the community. If you would like the crew to come to your community, give us a call because we have a camera and we bring it right out there and we ask questions about the topics.
Yep.
This topic was purpose. So let's go to our segment that we call Community Says and see what the community says.
All right. We
Take
watch
a
it
look.
with.
For me, my purpose has always been tied into again, giving back what was freely given to me. But once the beautiful thing about purpose is that once you find it, once you anchor into it, you step beyond yourself. And the motivations are outside of your ego. They're outside of what you're dealing with because you're part of this much larger mechanism where, again, you don't feel the loneliness. You feel part of a community. And I think about myself. I think about the version I was of myself before I found purpose, and I don't recognize that person.
Finding purpose is important because, especially when you're in recovery, you don't really know what your purpose is, you know? And finding that purpose is a process, you know? Most of us don't know who we are, you know, because of all of the trauma and things that we've been through, you know? And so finding purpose, sometimes it's just, if you can help one person, you know? That's you know, that would be good enough for me anyway, you know, and that's why I share my story.
I don't know my purpose in my whole life, but by setting little goals here and there and taking a step toward whatever direction feels right, I know I'm working towards that purpose. I feel like my purpose is to follow my heart. I know that's really cheesy, but to do whatever feels right in a way that benefits myself and the people around me and the world overall.
What it means to have a purpose is like just to have a purpose to live, really. I lived like with a dead spirit for so long that like life is so short and meaningful that it's too short to like throw my life away to negative things that will kill me slowly. And it's time for me to find my purpose and why I'm here. I have children who depend on me, and like my sole purpose is to remain sober and make sure that my kids see a happy, sober mother.
It's time for what we call chime in. So again, the question is, what do you think brings you purpose? Why is purpose so important? Who in the room would like to give us a couple words about purpose?
Finding.
All right, can we get house lights on for a moment? Thanks, Milan. Tell us a little bit about purpose, sir.
I think the thing that breeds purpose is a necessity, what you feel needs to be done. And if no one else is doing it, you have to go ahead and do it.
All right, so finding gaps in necessity. We have purpose over here. All right, here we go.
I think Purpose for me is just being able to support people and being able to sit by them while they search for their own purpose and kind of be a catalyst and a roadmap for them to find theirs.
Oh, we have a saying around here that's action is contagious. And so for you being a hunter of purpose, it sort of teaches other people to hunt that too. Anyone else want to give us a word or two on purpose or something that you find purposeful? Oh, we do. We have a hand over here. Hello, stranger.
So I actually met Scott about 10 years ago, and this was after my son and I were both shot. So I was just like so emotional with as far as purpose goes. I was like, God did not save me to fold sweaters. So I'm actively looking for purpose 10 years later, and hoping that like my story helps other people find that they're just not alone.
Oh my gosh, I love that. That is an incredible story that Ms. Patricia went through. You can actually go back and look at it. It's all over in the newspapers. But her son Roderick actually jumped in front of a person who was having a post-traumatic stress breakdown and was coming and shooting at her, and he stepped in front and saved his mother's life. And how powerful is it that here we are, and out of that, you know, we always say that there's a silver lining, right? But I'm just curious because I'm actually coming from some pain myself. I'm a recovering alcoholic. But I think a lot of us who have pain, purpose sort of becomes something that's really alluring for us to go to. Would anyone else agree with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone else before we move on to the next thing have anything they want to say about purpose?
All good?
All good. How about you, Hayat? This is one of the most purposeful people I know. So what's your secret?
Yeah, well, being involved with activities and with people who lift you up. And that's why it's important to find your community. Find the community that's safe, that allows you to be the best version of you. And that's what we're trying to create. And that's why I keep coming back. It's been my home for 12 years. And it's going to be, hopefully, it's a home for my kids. And it's going to be keep on being home. So that's great. So,
well, you know, after we like to talk, you know, we go out to the community, we hear what they have to say, we talk to the room, we hear what they have to say. But then we do like to bring some sort of facts, science into it. So can you tell us a little bit more specifically about the benefits of purpose?
So this is what the kids that I teach call facts. So one of the reasons dealing with mental health issues, bipolar, I'm telling you, this is the reason why I am here today and still living purposeful life. All right, number one, if you have a purpose in your life, what does it do to your mental health? You know, people get, when you have a sense of purpose, you have things to live for. So you are less likely to experience depression, anxiety, and are better to cope with life. So that purpose, that's what gives you. Another thing is your physical health. When you have a purpose, exercising, you live longer, you have better sleep, you have stronger immune system, and they tend to take better care of themselves. And I guarantee you, as I am living without medication right now, I'm able to manage myself, again, having a purpose. I am free of medication. That doesn't mean that people don't have to take them, but the fact is, having that purpose gave me that physical health and happiness. When you have purpose, you know, people with sense of purpose experience more happiness, which include a range of positive feelings, pleasure, satisfaction. And I found this quote I want to share. When you light a candle for someone else, it also casts a glow on your path. And this is true, got that. This is so true. For me, helping others helped me be in recovery for my mental health. And psychological, being psychological. So people with sense of purpose may better be able to cope. Again, I have to go to therapy, and one of the best therapy is being with people that uplift you. And when you're feeling sad, the best thing I urge you to do, go find someone else to help. And, you know, get help for yourself, and that helps you by helping someone else. That connection is so important. Sense of identity. Now, why is that important? People with sense of purpose may have a stronger sense of uniquely who they are. I march to the beat of my own drum. And it's okay, wherever you are, however you are, when you have purpose, it doesn't matter. Bad things will happen, but you keep on marching on because Because why? Because you have purpose. Yes, and that's why it's important having purpose. All right, what's next?
You know what's next, Hayat? Hey, give another round of applause for Hayat. How many people out there know who Hayat is? If they could see a lot of people out here, you're an outstanding human being. 100% outstanding, and like fully outstanding. I say Miss Hayat, I mean it, is one of the servingest most people I've ever known. Absolutely selfless. And I just wanted to, it's such an honor to be on a stage with you about purpose and things like that, because truly this is probably, this is the Michael Jordan of service right here. So I wanted to thank you very much for that.
Thank you.
Now, some of you may know that we here at The Cause a lot of times work with young people. We're stopping calling them youth and kids anymore, because they're actually our sort of junior producers, our younger partners in causing a better world. And I am going to take a moment right now, because if you didn't know that, our technical show that is being filmed here, we have 4 cameras, we have a background, people switching and stuff. It is mostly run by teenagers who were trained in the Cause production crew. So we have Lilo over here on camera. We got Adam over here on camera. We got Alana over here on camera. And Elena over here. And then our main production crew assistant over there, who's usually the host. This is where I'm going with this. That's Milan. She's over there. So Milan is usually, and Lilo, they co-host a show called The Monthly Focus. And that is what we modeled this show after. The kids they write these shows, they bring in guests, they have an audience, and we actually got a little jealous.
So we got our own show.
So like, we got to get on that stage. No, but what we got jealous of was they were creating community. And if you ever can, there's a show next week. It's always the Thursday after this show. That is a very lively show, family-friendly, families, but please come if you're an adult as well. This show is more geared towards adults, but we like to have a little fun too.
All right.
So every once in a while, we're going to do things in the room to just bring up some of the spirits and some of the energy and be a little silly. And one of the fun things that the youth do, or the younger people, our younger producers, they have a segment called This or That. So this or that's pretty simple. We're going to put 2 different things up, and then if you are more of a this person, you shout out this, and if you're more of a that person, you shout out that, and we want to sort of have a battle of this and that, and then we'll find out of these 2 items which is the most important.
You got to make some noise.
But
so
you got to make some
hear
noise. That's right. And then if you can handle this, we go into bracket round later on in the season. Where it gets really, we did that once. We did the most best non-alcoholic beverage, and when it got down to water versus coffee, I thought there was going to be
water won.
It was great. Why no? All right. So, are you ready to play this or that? Do you understand the instructions? Are you really ready to play this or that? All right, then let's go. Let's see what the first thing is. This or that. We got hiking or
jogging. This or
this?
that?
I'm hearing isses. I'm hearing thises. I'm a this man too. How about you, jogger?
No, this.
All right. We're saying hiking on that one. Let's go. Next one. This or that. We got grilling at home.
Restaurant.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Hold on. Is this an anonymous that?
Yeah.
If you're at home right now, please type into your YouTube this or that. Because right now, everyone here is saying that they would rather grill at home.
Yes, right.
Can I ask, why is that? Why? Healthier.
Yeah,
Why else?
Me too.
It's at your own pace, so you don't get rushed out of the restaurant. You save money.
Wow. Very conscientious.
So wait a second. How much money do we as a collective agency, spend when, if you asked a room full of people, they all said they'd rather have home-cooked food? Very interesting.
Yeah.
Now, of course, I love to support our local businesses, and I love to support our local restaurants.
That is
They're
true.
very important that we got to go out and eat there. But I think I just learned something.
Me too.
Yeah. All right.
Speaking about home audiences, Scott, we just got a shout out from Canada.
What?
Yeah.
We got a Canadian shout out.
What do they want to do?
And our friend Andrew's on, and our friend Darian from Connecticut just said, "What's up?"
Oh my gosh, we got a what's up from Connecticut.
That's awesome.
And thank you again, Andrew, for coming. But Canada, wow, how did we get all the way up there?
I know, right? It's because we're building a community.
That's exactly right. All right. By the way, it is true that the monthly purpose and the products that we're building here, these systems, our goal is that every community could use one of these where the peers teach the peers. And so Canada could have their own monthly purpose with Canadian friends right there. I'm sure they're not just Canadian, they're probably in a province or something. But let's move on. Thank you for people watching at home. That is awesome. Now, this or that. Let's get back to it. Volunteering.
Donate.
This. All the way in the back there, I just want to shout out, I see one of our former, what they called governors of a service agency. His name is Daniel Elkins. Woo! We have Lions connections here. So if you are in a service, please pop over and see that guy. He will sign you right up. Yep. All right.
Scott,
next, this or that.
We might have to go to Esther's house because she says her hubby makes the most amazing steaks on the grill.
Esther. So where does she live?
Yes, what I was
She hasn't chimed in where she lives, but
well,
we know
let's
she's out
dox
there.
her and I'll go down there and eat some food.
Or she can bring it here for our monthly purpose.
All right. Next, this or that. Ooh. We got our early morning people.
Or late night. That.
This? That. I was about to say, no way is Ghetto Songbird a this. So most people are late night? No, we have a this. Yeah. Well, thanks for staying up with us, Derek, tonight. Appreciate that.
Really? Most people are this? Wow.
Yeah.
Not me.
I'm a that. Now, here's one thing. I'm a that, but I actually think I want to become a this.
Yes.
Anyone
I agree.
feel that way as you get older?
I agree.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that might have been the last one. Let's see. Is there another one? Oh, there is one more. Hi, what is it?
Staycation.
Versus vacation.
This.
That. Okay. We'll eat at home, but we'll travel out. Is that right? Awesome. All right, very good. Let's move on to the next segment of the show, which is each episode we are going to invite someone from the community to come on up and talk to us about what the subject is. And there's the wonderful thing about this is that, as we said before, everyone in this community is just as important. And so I am really excited to bring someone who I've known for years, but I'd like to learn a little bit more about Holly Rabinski. Would you please come up here? Holly is with Brandywine Counseling Community Services, does a lot of work in the field of prevention. I'm going to give you this mic right there. Oh, she's already mic'd up. That's right. So here we go. Please have a seat right there. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome one more time, Holly. By the way, you get to keep this.
I get a mug?
Yes, everybody who's a guest. One of the fanciest things we do is, the show mugs. They're empty right now, though. We should have put some water in it. All right, Holly, we're going to start with just really simple. In your own words, how would you define purpose?
Okay, so for me, I feel like purpose is something that drives you and gives you like a meaning in your life. I feel like if you don't have purpose, we kind of went over like the 5 benefits of purpose, but without it, like what's the purpose? Like, what am I doing here? But for me, purpose is like what my drive comes from, what gives me like a light inside. And I don't think I always knew like what my purpose was. I think my purpose found me. I heard somebody else mention, like still searching for it 10 years later, and I think that your purpose can find you sometimes. Like what that means for me is, it's really broad too. It's like
Well, that's true. We were sort of saying that like a person can find purpose that's their personal purpose, but there's also like a purpose, like there's this kind of grand scheme of purpose, but then there could be smaller purposes throughout your life that help keep you motivated.
Right.
Do you think like there are certain things in your life that are sort of individual purposeful things that when you put them together it brings purpose to your life?
Yeah, absolutely. I think even like if I speak about my life was, I'm a person in recovery. I spent many years of my life in jail. using, like all of those little pieces also are part of my purpose. Like every part of that, was something that I needed in that moment. And then I can think and look at, my life now, and, I have children now. So like those, like there's a purpose in that, and like being a mom and trying to like teach them about life and what, they want to be, and like then my purpose at work, or, all of those things I think kind of combine into navigating what the bigger picture is. So to answer your question, yeah, absolutely. Like all of the little things build like a bigger mountain.
Well, and it's funny because you had said a moment ago, you said purpose sort of found you.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Well, okay, so first I'm sitting up here. This is definitely not where I imagined myself, at all, being asked to, share or speak, be a special guest. And I am asked to do that like all the time. Like and this is never, I failed. I took like a public speaking class in college and I bombed it. I got an F. So definitely not something that I would have chosen for myself, to be someone that, other people feel as if maybe I have something that is motivating or whatever. They want to hear me talk about that. And then even with my, like my line of work and the things that I do there, I would have chosen to honestly like run the syringe exchange program. Like, I wasn't like a kid like, oh, I really want to like grow up and, no, like I imagined honestly myself when I was a kid, I wanted to be, so maybe this is kind of a full circle thing, but I wanted to be a news anchor and like a reporter. So maybe it kind of found me in a roundabout way,
That's funny. And so when you're talking about needle exchange, that's part of the harm reduction programs here in Delaware.
Yeah.
Well, what's kind of interesting is, when you're saying purpose found you and that people are asking you to speak, it seems, if I'm observing this right, it's almost like some of the challenges that you had in your life that you've overcome are now other people want to hear about it to see if that they could maybe...
I think it inspires people, absolutely. Like the peer movement, that's why I think there's so many different like support groups, like, cancer survivors or grief support groups. Like there's, pain shared is pain lessened. And, only someone else that's been through something that like I've been through, they're more likely to listen to me as I'm like sitting here saying, well, no, yeah, I used to do this. I used to, do all kinds of really things I probably shouldn't say on here. But, like that was like a life that I lived, and now this is my life. So how did I get here? I'm going to listen to you because I relate to you and I feel like a connection, whether it's through circumstances or feelings or any of those things that might connect us. So I think that that is kind of why people like why I ended up here. Yeah.
Well, I just also, to everyone watching at home, point out that right now maybe someone's going through something. Maybe they're in the midst of it. They're in the grasps, or maybe they're experiencing addiction or something. But what a light at the end of a tunnel, and a story for us to look to, that someone has taken that and turned it into purpose. Maybe, you said you want to be a news anchor. Maybe this is just the beginning of you going out and speaking to people like that. But I just think it's inspiring that sometimes we think the things that are maybe destroying us, we can turn into things that could actually uplift us and others.
Yes, I agree. I mean, I think that those are the things that motivate us the most. The most painful things, pain is kind of what motivates everyone. Being comfortable, it's like you don't change when you're comfortable. Like when there's not something, like hurting you or any, thing, if it's comfortable, I'm just going to keep doing it, because why not? But all of those negative things brought me, out into this other person that was able to find a place where, and I have to kind of shout out my job, because they hired me with 8 months out of jail and gave me a chance, you know.
This is
So
Brandywine Counseling Community Services.
it is. I should have said their name.
Oh, we did earlier, but that's my friend Dion Cornish over there, I believe.
Dion is my boss, yes.
Master in Primary Prevention.
Yeah.
Well, one last question for you. Do you have any call to action, anything that you would like our audience at home to sort of think or do to either find their purpose, or something along the lines of what your work is about?
I would say that if you're at home and you don't know what your purpose is, or you're kind of lost, you need to kind of get out and do things. And then whatever you do that brings you like a joy, or you feel like, you'll feel it and you'll know inside. I can't explain it in words, but you'll know. And then you keep doing it, and then it fills you up. But you have to get out. You can't just sit at home. Or, you know, you have to, or even if you get out online and start to do something that way, but you have to give yourself that opportunity to seek and be available and be open to whatever, you know, the universe or whatever has for you. In regards to like my work and my call to action in that would be like a stigma, you know, the negative connotation that comes, you know, across the people that maybe either were incarcerated, or, you know, and not for just using drugs. Like, people are incarcerated for all kinds of things. But the stigma that goes towards someone that's not like you. So, you know, put yourself, you at any moment, any of us can be in a situation that maybe, you know, I would look down at this person, or I would judge them. So I would say to like let that go and not judge other people just because you haven't been in their shoes, or you don't understand where they're coming from. That's probably the biggest thing that has helped me grow, is to look at any situation or anything someone's done and understand that, you know, I don't know where they were at or what they were going through in that moment. So if I can give myself an opportunity to put myself in that and maybe look at it from their lens, it's always given me relief in having a different perspective on another person. So I would say to do something like that.
That's such a magical answer. It's like we paid you to say that, but we didn't. I promise you.
No, they didn't.
But that is what this whole monthly purpose community is about. It's that not, you know, we don't have to hit our own rock bottoms to start caring for other people. And in fact, if we start sowing the net for other people, then when someone in our family eventually does fall, which we will, or if it's ourselves, the net will be there. Okay. So it's, can we destigmatize? And we don't know who's in this room. We have no idea. And that's the way it always is in the world. Mm-hmm. But if we can all just come, as you said, together, judge-free, let people be who they are, and try to see things through their feet, I think we can have a much better world.
Yeah, absolutely. Love everyone.
Oh, man.
Love is everything.
I don't think we could end on a better note than that. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank once again Miss Holly Rabinski for coming out tonight. And so we're going to hope you stick around and watch the rest of the show. We have some more music performances. But right now, oh no, not at all. We're just gonna. You can actually. Why don't you say, let's cut to a commercial break.
Let's cut to a commercial break.
I'm not sure if you know or not, but our slogan is Wilmington is a place to be somebody.
Coming soon, gang culture. Keep in mind, most folk who live in poor neighborhoods are not street identified. They don't know where the big bag of drugs are. They don't know where the guns are at.
Brothers, loving one another to make sure that we are not oppressed.
Created by youth and community members in Delaware.
What is one of the most interesting parts of your career with your work undercover as an officer?
Believe it or not, it's gonna sound crazy. I love selling dope. Like that was my thing.
A podcast all about gang violence awareness.
One of my goals is to humanize people who are incarcerated. There's like incarcerated people.
Yes.
Because they're human beings.
Right.
Who made mistakes.
Created by youth and community members in Delaware.
When you hear the word gang, what do you picture?
A group of adults or lost kids.
Like, you don't want to have to bury your friend. Like, you don't have to lose your friend. Don't want to see him go to jail.
Gang Culture, dropping on all platforms June 25th. Brought to you by The Cause, helping each other evolve.
Thanks for listening. Bye.
Yay, thank you.
My name is Scott. That's my real name. I'm not an actor. I started drinking alcohol like many others at a young age to have fun and party, but I didn't stop. Then it started to affect my life, my career, my kids. Eventually, it was so hard to look in the mirror at all of the potential that was fading. Wasn't easy, but I quit. Now I have my life back, my creativity back. I even have a job that empowers youth to make better decisions with better knowledge. You can too.
If it helps one person, just got.
Thanks, Shar.
All right, are you guys having fun? All right, are you guys ready to hear inspiring words? Well, here comes a local artist, Zeke.
Got the mic on, all right. The Cause. How y'all feeling out there tonight? This is a brand new song. Let's see if I can remember it. Come on. Destiny and purpose. Let's go. Check, check. We was found bound, falling, counting this down. Try to see her reads now, parted, half-hearted, march onward. Broken hearted, salt claw, carotid. Invaded slaughters, waded in wayward waters. Made it through torment, muck, mire, and pain. And ever since wells saw fire and rain, I've been trying to take us higher by inspiring change. Overcame my anxiety, slightly deranged when the smoke cleared. My regrets taking a toll here. Feeling like Tony with coke coating his nose hairs. What have I done? What have I become? Is this the total sum of Sonia's only son? It was legacy. Legacy directed me. I was in her dwelling begging for the death of me. When I heard it from the heavenlies, the same voice told my mama, don't you dare abort this pregnancy. In your womb lies destiny and purpose. Your seed shall dismantle generational curses. It's worth it, even though life ain't perfect. Come on, come on. Hey, we got the ill street blues, baby. We got the ill street blues. And again, I made it by the skin of my grin. Tell me if I'm tweaking for believing we can win. Then again, we got the ill street blues, baby. Me and mine got the ill street blues. Then again, I made it by the skin of my grin. Can these dry bones breathe again? It's the ever irreverent, righteous renegade reverend, descended from the heavens with a scripture for the brethren. Blessings to the sinners and successors who grieve their predecessors but rose with effervescence. Death got a funny way of teaching life lessons like acceptance. Time is of the essence. Life is temporary. Your contemporary might just need your presence more than ever. You surpass the savage vast efforts. You defeated odds long before they broke even. Spoken frequencies of God before they stoned Stephen. Broke molds before Moses and Mama broke waters. Prophecy took over, smoking holy marijuana. Our Father, help me get the code and season cider. All the hearts and minds of all my bros, sons and daughters, till they wealthy as a seed of Beyonce knows Carter. Keep them from the need to plead the case before your honor. Amen. We got the ill street blues, baby. Hey, we got the ill street blues. And again, I made it by the skin of my grin. Tell me if I'm tweaking for believing we can win. Then again, hey, we got the ill street blues, baby. Yeah, we got the ill street blues. Then again, I made it by the skin of my grin. Can these dry bones breathe again? The Cause. Thank y'all very much.
Oh my gosh! I just had to get his autograph as he was leaving the room. Ezekiel, everybody! We are all about the arts here and creating spirit, and thank you so much. We called Zeke at the last minute saying, can you please bring some spirit into this room? And I think he did that successfully. Thank you, sir. All right, well, we're going to have a art performance every month. We're also going to have something called the Community Spotlight. We send our crew, which you're going to meet a little bit later, Billy and Sean, out into the community to do spotlights. Let's take a look at this one. It's on our artist friend, Brian Mills.
My name is Brian Mills. I'm an art teacher, I'm a painter, I'm a designer, and I love serving the community and helping others. I was on the path of being a celebrity painter, rock star. Met celebrities. I was going to Hollywood, LA, and New York, everywhere, man. Just trying to do art shows and stuff like that. And when the pandemic hit, it was like my dreams were like crushed. I felt like I was on the verge of being who I wanted to be, and it was all taken away from me. And that led me to a depression, Unfortunately, I used a bad outlet of alcohol, just drinking. I quit my job. I tried to find another job to make that money back, just broken dreams and having drive, but being fueled the wrong way. I was still trying to do shows. I quit my job. I'm gonna do it my way. I'm gonna do it my way. I'm gonna do it my way. And I had to turn to God. I'm like, God, I'm tired. I had enough. What is it that you want me to do? And that's when I started teaching. It happened naturally, but I started getting my act together, getting my life together. A lot of people have a hard time finding their purpose, and everybody has their own path. They're not gonna find their purpose the same time that somebody else might find it sooner or later, whatever the case may be. But on this journey of life, finding our purposes, we have to uplift and encourage one another once again, because it's difficult trying to live in a world, trying to find your purpose and trying to do everything alone. When I think of the word purpose, I think of objective, like a will, some sort of goal, an objective that needs to be fulfilled, something that needs to be fulfilled. What needs to be fulfilled when I think about purpose? I think of that question. Purpose comes around full circle. Somebody might be really good at art, for example. Somebody else might be really good at playing football, and maybe they might need help with a logo, or somebody wants to teach their son how to play sports, and if we all come together and work together with our different purposes and goals, we're not running around lost. We're not going to be lonely. We have somebody that we could call on and understand ourselves by helping others. That's what helped me as far as finding my purpose, was helping others, and that's where I found out my true purpose. I wanted to just be an artist, but I was like, being an artist, that's great, that's cool, but I really want to help others and help uplift and encourage those, because it helps you feel good too, But as humans, we have a mentality of pointing and say, hey, I want that, I wish I had that, and it's easy to overlook the things that we're already blessed with. Whether it's the small things in life, I just want to be a blessing on others. So when they see how I'm living and how I'm treating them, that they want to be encouraged and inspired to live like that and to help others and treat people with love and respect. And once we realize that, it helps us work even harder towards our purpose. It's really heartbreaking seeing people that are just so lost. At the end of the day, they're still a human being. They're still a child of God, you know what I mean? Whether they're destroying their lives or not. So the only thing we could do is just, pray for them and try to encourage them. I wish they had more people around them that loved them. And I wish that they realized how much God loved them so that they could love themselves.
Let's give it up for Brian Mills, who is our spotlight, community spotlight. Before we get into our next section, again, this is a show that is organic. So if you have a community or a person that you would like to see our crew go out and spotlight, let us know, and then we take the camera and do that great spotlight. All right, now it is maybe my favorite time, and I want to first apologize to everybody for a moment. This is a very Scott-heavy show. I'm Scott, if you didn't know that. And so in the future, you're not going to see so much of me up here. But one time I do hope that you see me throughout the season is to help bring some what we call the toolbox conversation to you. So toolbox is our section where we're going to give everyone a tool, a mental tool, a trick of the mind, something that you can do so that you have a way of using this tool. And the idea is that, just like a toolbox, if you only had a hammer, what do they say? Like everything becomes a nail. But if we have a whole toolbox, then no matter what comes at us, we might be able to have something to handle that situation. So is everyone ready to learn a little skill today, or a little idea, if you will? Yeah? All right, good, good. All right, so we're going to go over something really quick. This is a program that we actually teach in some of our cause groups. It's called The Road to Greatness, and I'm going to briefly go over some of the things. I want to let you know that what you're about to watch is some of the mechanics that I used to recover from alcohol. I am an alcoholic. I'm celebrating 12 years of being in recovery. Yes, sir! Yes, sir! Sorry, of course, I like to get goofy about it because I'm happy about it. But we created this thing called the Road to Greatness. And so tonight, I just want you to think about it, that greatness, don't worry about that word so much. Think about it's the road to purpose, the road to my best self, the road to whoever I want to be. And in the people here in the room, you have a little brochure in front of you. We're going to be doing some things that you can follow along. As a matter of fact, Milan, could you do me a favor and deliver the markers from the boxes over there and put one on each table so they can follow along? All right, so I'm going to go really fast because we want to make sure that we keep to your time. So let's go ahead to the next slide. Sean's my slide man. All right, so first thing is right there on the table, you might see that there are these little things. They are actually mirrors. Everyone gets to take one of those mirrors. So go ahead and grab one of the mirrors that are on the table. If you're at home, you can use any mirror, all right? Now, if you're in the room and you would like to make a custom mirror, what you could do is you could write on one of the little pieces of paper that we have back there what you would like your goals to be or things that you're sort of hunting for, and then we can pop it into that mirror. But if you're at home, please grab a mirror. If you're in here, you have a mirror. All right, let's go. Next slide. Okay, so the road to greatness is basically a way, a mentality, and a way of making moves in the life. As a matter of fact, Holly, I think you're going to like this because you were almost speaking about the road to greatness when you were saying you have to just get out, go out, and discover. All right, so first of all, first rule is this: greatness, purpose, whatever it is, it's different for everybody. Completely different for everybody. So don't worry about anybody else's greatness or who they are. The only person you need to be worried about being better than is who you were. That's right, yourself, and who you are yesterday. So remember, don't need to compare yourself to greatness. You have your own unique, phenomenal greatness. Next slide. Boom. Everybody has a different path to greatness. To get to where I am, standing on this stage with all my friends and family around making this music and video, right? I literally had to go through my alcoholism. I think that's real. I think I actually had to go through that path to get to where I am. I think now that I'm past that and still working with it every day, I think that that's part of my greatness, is that. So remember Nelson Mandela, 27 years in prison before becoming president of a country that when he was locked up would never consider a black man to be president. So everyone has their different path to get there. Wherever you are, greatness is there for you. Do you understand so far? Yes. All right, good. Next slide. Boom. This is what my friend Holly was talking about. Greatness will not come to you. If you could be the best rapper in the world and if all you're doing is sitting in your basement rapping, it doesn't matter. You're not going to get that show. You need to literally move. And so greatness and purpose, think of it as a destination that you actually have to get out and start walking to find. And I believe what Holly said is that you don't need to know where you're going. And we're going to talk about that because it's going to start showing up. So, boom. Everyone understand what I mean by saying get out of your comfort zone. Very good. Now, how does it work? So, we have a million different decisions to do every day, right? Well, what you have in front of you, the compass mirror, is what we do is we say you use your compass mirror. And what that means is you look in the mirror and you look deep into yourself. And then what you're going to do is you're going to try to get some direction from your reflection. It's a silly rhyme, but it means a lot. Get your direction from your reflection. This came about because I had an old teacher when I was in high school said, as long as you can look in the mirror, Mr. Brown said this, as long as you can look in the mirror and be confident with who you are, you're doing okay. So, as an alcoholic, year after year, I actually stopped looking in the mirrors altogether. I didn't, because every time I looked in it, if I actually looked in my eyes, there'd be something deep in me being like, yo, what are you doing? You're so much better than this. You got so much more going on in your life. You're hurting your kids. You're hurting your family. So after a while, I just stopped looking at the mirror so I didn't have to hear that anymore. Well, what we're asking you to do right now is face that. I believe that there's something in each of us that knows what's best for us. It's the kind of thing that's like, yo, put down the phone. You know, you feel that thing, or like, yo, get out and do a walk. Or so what I want to do is right now, take a look in that mirror and get your direction from your reflection. So on your sheet there, if something's coming to your mind, jot it down. So if it's saying, yo, write that email, or is it saying, hey, do this? So right now, what you're doing is you're tapping into a deeper part of yourself that knows better for you. Now, next slide. So what you're going to do is you have to realize that from now on, every single thought and action and movement in your life is either going to be walking towards your best self or not. And if you're not walking towards your best self, time is ticking and you're missing opportunities. So now there's a little bit of a time press. You must be understanding that at every moment, if you are not working towards yourself, you're losing it. All right, next slide. We already got to that, use retraction for reflection. So what happens is you look at it and start with prioritizing. So when you look at the mirror, don't be like, oh, I got to stop drinking and get a job and fix my life and do this. You can't do that. One thing at a time. What's the first thing that needs to be undone for the next one? So for me, it didn't matter if I wrote emails if I was still drunk all the time. I had to stop alcohol first. But for many people watching, it might be something completely different. It might be, I have to stop going shopping all the time. I have to stop being on the internet so much. It could be anything you want. But listen to what it says, and now you have your direction. So for me, it said, Scott, stop drinking. Now, let's move ahead. The next thing we want you to do is, once you have your direction, now you have your mirror, it's giving you direction. Now it's time to walk that road to greatness. So what I'm going to ask you to do is, as you're out there walking, you're going to look for what we call signs. Many people say, oh, there's a sign that I'm in the right place, or there's a sign I'm in the wrong place, right? Anyone know what I'm talking about? Gut feelings, things like that. So here's how it works. You start in the day, you look at the mirror, and you say, what should I be doing right now? It said, Scott, stop drinking. So I get up, and I start moving my day, and I start looking for signs. So the first thing that happens is I'm starting to shake. I'm starting to feel shaky. So I'm like, you know what? If I just have one beer, I'll be fine, and then I can move on the day. So I have that beer, and I'm like, okay. And then the first sign happens. I see myself in the mirror as I'm walking by. And I'm like, dang it. I said I wasn't going to drink today. And it's 11 o'clock, I already have a beer in me. So I'm like, you know what? Well, I guess maybe tomorrow. So I'll start drinking a little bit more. Next thing that happens, boom, I get a phone call. It's like, Mr. Michaels, your daughter is at an accident at school. Can you come pick her up? So all of a sudden I'm like, whoa, like I'm drunk. I probably shouldn't drive. But I'm like, Dad, I can't tell my wife I'm drunk at 11 o'clock in the morning. I just better get in that car and go pick up my child. So I drive down the car, and then boom, next thing that happens, I bump into a car on the way in. And I don't think anyone sees me. So I'm like, okay, that's good. So I drive all the way up in. Boom, the next thing that happens, I walk up and the principal says, Mr. Michaels, I'm sorry, but we saw you bump into a car over there. And also, geez, you smell like whiskey right now. We can't let your daughter go with you. As a matter of fact, the state law says we actually have to call police and make sure that she has a safe ride home. So how many signs did I ignore to get to that point? The mirror could have stopped then. The phone call could have called my wife, said, yo, I'm drunk again. Sorry, Ma. Hit the car. I could have put down keys and said, I'm hanging up my life. Somebody help me out here. But instead, I kept trying to get away with it until I was literally trapped. Now, Sean, back it up. Not that far back. Okay, that far back. Yeah, perfect. Sean Jugan, everybody, one of our producers. Give him a big round of applause. So check this out, same exact day, but I do different decisions. So I wake up in the morning, it says, Scott, don't drink. And I'm like, oh, I'm shaking, but damn it, I'm so sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm just gonna make it through. And I see myself in the mirror. What do you think I see when I haven't had the drink that morning? How do you think I feel? Good. I'm like, yo, it's 11 o'clock and I made it. So I don't need that next beer. Also on the phone call, Mr. Michaels, your daughter's been in an accident. I'm halfway to the school and I realize if this was yesterday, I would be drunk. I couldn't have done this. I go in, I don't crash a car, and this is a true story. I walk up and the principal says, hey, don't you do assemblies? I said, yeah. They go, would you like to do an assembly for our school for about $500? The same day could have had me locked up or getting a job based on how many signs I chose to ignore or follow. So, boom, next slide. What you have there on your thing is you've got two different sides, right? I want you to go ahead and self-identify. What are signs? And if you're at home, make a list. 2 lists. Signs that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing and signs that you're not. Because we all sort of, I think, know these signs. Oh, I'm around that person again. Every time I'm around that person, I get in trouble. I maybe should walk away from that person. So you're going to follow those signs. And guess what, folks? Greatness is not a destination. It is the destination. So greatness is what we call ever-expanding potential. To Holly's point, she said, get up, walk. I think you even said the universe will just start providing. You keep walking and the bridge gets made. So go ahead, have that expression, and check this out. See what that mountain is? You might think you have a goal, but when you get to that goal, you might realize that what the mountain of your goal is actually a hill, and you see even better goal to reach. So that's what happens when you walk it. A couple quick rules. One, you can always get back on track. All right? You could spend 25 years of your life going off track, get back on track. 2, find a mentor. If you're trying to get somewhere in life, find someone who's already been there, ask them for advice. 3, you will crash if you're only looking backwards. You have to go where your focus goes, where you're gonna go, so don't look in the rearview mirror. And then boom, take care of your vehicle. I think that's what we're trying to do here. Take care of your vehicle both mentally and physically. All right, boom, last one. Are there any other rules anyone in here can think of for the road to greatness? I know I'm a little over time, so we're just gonna keep rolling. Boom. All right, so greatness is ever-expanding potential, the destination, and there's one more slide that says, follow the compass, follow the signs, and start your greatness now. All right, thank you very much.
Addiction is a family disease. It takes victims and holds hostages. It does not discriminate. It can occur because of environmental factors or genetic predispositions. So, let's stop judging and stop criticizing and start treating and teaching.
Yeah, we have to talk about it.
Talk about it.
Addiction.
Let's talk
about it.
Talk about it.
In our community, hands paint together, spreading colors and hope. Our educators nurture the heart, teaching our youth emotions and understanding. We equip ourselves with knowledge, learning to save lives with naloxone. At our local farmers market, the seeds of awareness take root. Our children play, learning the strength of unity and choice. Remember, when it comes to facing the opioid epidemic,
it takes a village.
All right, how we having fun? All right, we'll be bringing out Billy from the back to the front. This guy, Scott, and actually this show is inspired, he says, by him. So inspire us.
All right, I usually like to be behind the scenes here, but this is one moment that I always like to have, and this is one where we're going to have the lights come up for a second. We always have that time in our day when we say, oh, we should reach out to somebody. Oh, I need to call my mom, or I need to send a text to that buddy of mine who has might be down on his luck. Or you know what, I want to send a text to someone and thank them for something. So at this part of our show, we're going to take exactly 2 minutes, and I want everybody in the room, get that phone out, send a note to somebody. It could be a word of encouragement. It could be, hey, I miss you. Hey, hope you're having a nice day today. Hey, I've been having a good time at this new event. Anything. You know, we make excuses. We're like, hey, I'll call mom. Oh, hey, I'll call my buddy. Oh, I'm going to check in on a person. Oh, I'm going to thank somebody. And you never do. So right now, we got that time. And I want everybody at home do the same thing. Get on your phones, make a call, make a text, do something, all right? You got about a minute left.
While they're doing that, Bill, can I talk about a little concept while they're calling? We've been talking about lately about limited things versus limitless things. Limitless is the internet. They'll always be there. TV, always be there. Shows. Limited, time with our loved ones. Time petting the pets.
Yeah.
So right now, that's what this is about, is
making that time. Yeah, carve that time.
No more excuses. We're rippling out.
Let's give them 30 seconds. Type fast. If you're laughing, that means you're not writing somebody because you're looking up here.
We got to call mom.
We got to call mom.
Mom, if you're watching, we love you. Thanks for birthing us.
Yeah, mom's probably watching.
She better be watching.
Mom, we love you. All right, everybody, thank you so much. Remember to carve time every day to do that, okay? But you'll be able to do this at least once a month with us. it should be every day with you guys. Take care.
Let's bring Hayat back up here. Hayat is someone who told me that you call your mother every day of your life.
Yep.
Is this right? And your mother lives
Absolutely.
in Ethiopia.
In Ethiopia. And actually, she does. Every Thursday for her, too. She calls people who are seniors and don't have somebody at home. Every Thursday, she calls somebody. So because she says that, and I'm like, I better be calling my mom every day.
All right, well, guess what, folks? We're pretty much at the end of our first debut show. But it wouldn't be complete if we didn't see if anyone in here wants to share. So we have the thing called the 10-second share. If it goes over 10 seconds, that's probably okay. But did you learn anything tonight? Did you want to share anything? Were you inspired? Do you want to tell us about who you texted or called out? Does anyone in the room want to have the mic for a moment to tell us or share anything with us at all? How about at home? Do we have anyone at home? All right. Well, guess what, folks? That is going to pretty much wrap up our thing. But before we end, we have to show you this QR code. And people at home, if you like tonight, if you want to get involved, we are looking for co-hosts, musical artists, interviews, places to go. And I'm going to say it right now. The mission of this whole thing is peer-to-peer
messaging,
educating, and learning and discovering, sharing and practicing better ways of living. So we come together, we share better ways of living, and then do it. Now, we're going to go back and see if we actually hit tonight's goals. What do you think? Did anyone here get inspired to live a purposeful life or find that out? Oh, I'm hearing lots of crowd. And how about this? Have we started to build a community here?
Did we connect with somebody? Did you exchange a number with somebody? You were like, you know what? Let's get together, do something powerful. I know.
All right, we got some numbers exchanges. And you know what? You can always say, hey, meet you at the next monthly focus, which is, the next one is on the mind, and it is on the third Thursday.
October 17th.
October 17th. So we have one more favor to ask of the people here in the studio audience. And actually, if you're at home, take a picture of yourself or the group that you're with and post it. But we want to do a big selfie of everyone here.
Everybody stand up, come to the front, come to the front.
And people will come back up. We're just going to do a big group photo. And then as the shows go on, we're just going to keep showing these, create that FOMO. But I want to also thank Mr. Billy Michaels and Mr. Sean Dugan, who are the co-producers. Sean, oh, you're still working back there. Still working back here. But if everyone come up, we're just going to get a good family photo. Yeah. Actually, should we go down here too? Yeah.
Sure. Pioneers, episode number 1.
Woo!
Yeah, give it to me. Yeah. All right, Scott, take it away.
Yeah. So basically, folks, you know, when this gets as large as Oprah, you'll be able to say, I was there, and I saw Ezekiel.
All right, thank you so much.
Have a great night, everybody. Go find that purpose.